As for the issue of the palace and our father, it is really, really unfortunate that anybody can propagate lies when there are documents to show.
He was always angry with my people. Please. He was always angry with the palace, with my people. He was known to be demolishing houses, oppressing people. I even mentioned it in my speech without fear of anybody, that he was an oppressor. But you, the Germans, you know how Hitler was in your country. So one could even liken him to almost like Hitler of the Benin Kingdom. He was oppressing everybody.
When you don't pay something, the document is there. So we can produce all the documents of payments, and the payment does not come from the governor's office. It comes from the local government. The Constitution of Nigeria says that you have federal, state, and local government. The traditional institution is under the local government. Each local government has what you call a traditional council. It is the same thing all over Nigeria. It cannot be different in Edo. I don't touch the money. The money comes straight from Abuja to the local governments. From the local governments, they now pay to the traditional council. Every local government. Edo South has 7 local governments. Before I came, they then said, okay, they have been the paramount, they don't want the separation. Let us have a Benin Traditional Council that is made up of the 7 local governments. When money comes, it should go, these 7 local governments should bring your 5% that is due into this Benin Traditional Council. Benin Traditional Council will meet monthly, regular, and then give everybody their own. Because you have Enigis in Ovia, in Wode, in Ego, you have everywhere. They also have to maintain where they are. Abi? When I came, I said, okay, even how much are you giving them? They said, 5%. I said, 5% of what? They said, 5% of this. I said, no, you have to give them 5% of everything that comes to the local government. So I increased what was going to traditional councils. The records are there. I'm not, if I'm lying, go and investigate. I'm not saying anything new. So the whole idea was, look, let us keep Edo South together under the Benin Traditional Council. The monies will come. The Omonoba will now use that as leverage to take care of everybody. Since October 2016, till they should tell us how many times Benin Traditional Council met. Never met. They never shared the money. Everything only went to one source. So the different local governments started complaining. There was one particular issue. You remember one time you could not drive from Benin to Auchi. They would kidnap sometimes 2-3 times a day on that road. You remember? So we then I went into the matter. I started investigating. I started having town hall meetings with the communities around. I said, come, Onoge, sit down, Tota. When they kidnap people on this road, they take them into the bush, into these communities. You want to tell me that you do not know about it? You want to tell me that people cook for them, people, so you don't have people in the place. So why are you here? They looked at me and said, what money? I said, what? You are supposed to get 5% every month from the local government. I said, they don't get anything. They've not gotten anything. For years. So we could trace insecurity, the source of insecurity, to solve the disempowerment of these areas. Then I said, okay, put it in writing to me. You cannot be complaining because I don't know about that. I only know as a governor this happens. They wrote to me that this. I said, okay. I sent it to the palace. I said, please, I want your comment that we can resolve this matter. I was ignored as governor. Reminder, ignored. Third reminder, I was ignored. who is in charge of the state? At that point, I said, stop all these payments until we resolve this matter. That was the issue. So go online and you check. I said, kept that money. I said, nobody will touch it until we resolve this problem. The money was accumulating there. That's what they're trying to use, which is a lie. It got into billions. Then, when the thing couldn't move, they then sat down. I said, you people sit down and agree on this matter. Okay, you, Nigerians, you have to respect our traditional institution of finance. This is our source. So, how much of this money should go to Palace or Benin Shalita? How much do you keep? They then agreed 50-50. 50% of the money that comes to the traditional council in the local government, they will keep in the local government for their use. 50 will go to the palace. That was the agreement. I then said, based on that, oh yeah, bring the money that is now in escrow. Share it. Give the palace their own. You take your own. That is what we're operating. If anybody disputes me, let them say, because all the paper is there. Go online, you will see how much we then distributed. At one point, we gave the palace their own share, which was more than 300 and something million, and gave the local governments their own so that they can work. Per month. When this governor came, part of the agreement was to reverse. So none of the Nigerians get anything anymore. And that's why you have, part of the reasons why you have such insecurity in the villages. In addition to that, you don't even have local governments. It dissolved all the local governments and drove everybody that was elected. That is part of why you have the challenges you have in Edo today. If anybody has an alternative, let them say it. So all this propaganda they are sending out is to cover, and we are going to challenge them, except they now decide to behave properly and do the right thing. As governor of Edo State, we put a security architecture in place, just like you have here. Every day, I call everybody, Commissioner of Police, Director of DSS, Head of National Defense, and Head of NDLA. What happened in your place? They give us report. We gather all those reports. Right? We put it in a database. We look at it. There's a lot of homicide here. There's a lot of killing. Which area? Maybe Bobauka. Why is it going on? Oh yeah, let us set an operation and go and deal with it. There's a lot of kidnapping in Oriomo. Which villages? Which area? Why? Oh yeah, get contacts, get vigilantes, give them resources. We go there. We bought over 6 drones, some with night vision. When they kidnap people and they train yes. How many days did it take for us to rescue those people? The one in Kaduna, how many months did it take? So we had a solid system in place. I had a command and control center that's second to none in Nigeria. The first thing these people came is scatter this. When during NSAS, all the police stations in Upper were burnt down. All of them. Bar none. I came, I rebuilt all of them. Just to strengthen the security structure of Edo State. Then we got communities to give us voice, vigilantes. We took money, we rebuilt the police training school in Ogida Barracks. With state money, go and see it today. The records are all there. And we started retraining these vigilantes. That is why you saw peace and safety in Edo. Anything that happens in any area, we know, we send them and we're able to, we're ahead. All of that they've destroyed. You cannot play politics with security. That is why we have the situation we have today. So anybody who says, I did not give the palace their money, I called them and said, let him show me the evidence. I have evidence to show how much they got every month when I was in office. But COVID then showed me how underdeveloped our healthcare system was.
You don't talk saying now this one day your eye ever since.
I asked, I personally took charge. I remember March 23rd, 2000, after COVID broke out. I then decided to host a team. At 9 a.m. every morning, I summoned that team, made up of people, heads of departments in UBTH, the state hospitals, private hospitals, federal hospitals, or anybody who is anybody in medical care in Edo State was part of that committee to understand what is going on. What I saw shook me to my core. When I asked, please, can you tell me how many people died in Edo in 2019, right? Because we just had COVID and many people were dying, more people were dying. I wanted to compare what we had the year before and what we're having now. They could not tell me. They don't have the data. Then we say, okay, let's now go around, try and sensitize people. Because we have had a lot of help and assistance from those like you all over the world. We've deployed our healthcare workers, go into the communities, give them handsets to collect vital data, give them money for allowance. They will come back with fake, false entries. So by the time I finished, I saw we were really, really in trouble. And we had to rejig our whole healthcare system. Fortunately, we had started the Edo State Health Improvement Plan. And we used that COVID period to now go back and rethink our healthcare system. First, in this country, how many of you go to a doctor and pay cash? Everybody has GP. You can say, okay, NHS is slow, but at least they will take care of you. At home, do we have any like that? So how can healthcare work? Somebody is sick, he will go to chemist. The person in the chemist maybe didn't even go to school, it's like your governor. The person in the chemist maybe didn't even go to school, it's like your governor. The person in the chemist maybe didn't even go to school, it's like your governor.
Sorry. It's confusing me.
What will they give him? So we had to go back to the core to say, let us rebuild our healthcare system. Let us first think about what is the role of government in healthcare. Government cannot be the one managing all the hospitals. The role of government is first to set up standards. So say if you say you are a hospital, you are providing healthcare, somebody is supervising you to make sure you are doing the thing you say you should do. Second role of government is to now help organize the financing so that you can pay, you can have insurance, some arrangement, so when you go to any place to get cured, you can pay. Because when you are sick and you need help and cure, nobody cares where you get it from. Whether it is UBTHO, it is General Hospital, it is primary care, whether it is private, does anybody care? Everybody's concern is that you should be well. So as long as you have a payment arrangement, then anybody can help you take care of you. That's what we focused on. And by doing so, you now create a viable healthcare market that can support investments in pharmaceuticals, in vaccines, and in equipment. You create a market. So trying to produce vaccines was like jumping the gun. We had to go back and build from the base. That is why it was not such a priority. But we left it in the notes that having done this, we now have to attract pharmaceutical companies, vaccine companies. We had that industrial park laid out in Ologo. In that park, by inside that park, you had at least 15 oil wells with producing gas. So you had people who were prepared to invest in turbines to produce electricity. The first was Osimo. There were many others who were waiting. Because the gas is there. The people who want electricity are there. So what is the problem? It is for government to encourage people to come and invest. But apparently, it takes a bit of schooling and understanding for people to understand this. They think that when you encourage something to happen, you must have a personal interest. That's why you are doing it. You don't know that you can do something for the good of everybody. So that is the issue. So we were expecting that once we establish a very viable healthcare, that's why we invested in Stella Obasanjo Hospital. If you go to Stella Obasanjo, is when we left. There's no hospital in the South that was as equipped as that hospital. 250 beds. When General Obasanjo came to open that hospital, he almost wept. He said, you did this in my honor, God will bless you. We had MRI machine, CT scan, you had a whole, the dialysis section was about 12 dialysis stations. For IVF, we had the best laboratory in that hospital. As we speak, they locked it up because they don't know what to do. And they are arguing about MOA and hospital in MOA. They are wicked people. Wicked. That's all I can say. Wicked people. I said, people does not know the day his brother or sister will have an accident. I need help. So when you shut a hospital like that, are you hurting Obaseki? You're just a wicked and stupid and foolish person. Otherwise, you shouldn't do a thing like that. Why do you that hospital, we knew how much it cost us. And he said, oh, the administrative block was not ready, and therefore you don't open the hospital. We knew that the state did not have the capacity to manage that kind of hospital. So we went to Chesrad in Abuja, one of the best hospitals, private hospitals in Nigeria, run by somebody from Edo State. To partner with him to come and help us run that hospital. And Esan Man, for that matter. The first thing Okpebholo did is cancel that agreement. Why? And lock up the hospital. And then start playing politics with people's health. He's not just a stupid person, he's wicked. I mean, he's not dumb alone. He just, there's a way you can say, I don't know, right? But there's a way you just can be wicked. And that is what I see in what they are doing. They can't explain why that hospital 1 year after is shut down. And you know what it is? These equipments are advanced equipment. You store them, you don't use them, what happens? I mean, why should you do this? What sort of politics is that? Is it your personal money? These people are wicked and they cannot be the ones in charge of it. Plus, they are masters. Master gave his son to go and manage. That son has never worked. Why do you do this to people? We have 5 million of us. How many are you? They think they can take on all of us? They will see. They will see. In due time, they will see. Because I know you will not keep quiet.